Normally I feed Mayo this meal, but I was feeding Mayo chicken backs. But for this, to make it easy for you and easy on Mayo, something you can just give to Mayo and know it's not gonna be anything you have to work with or deal with, we're gonna make this meal, okay? This meal is gonna be about a half cup for what I'm doing, maybe just 3/4 of a cup of brown rice, any kind of brown rice. The rice just serves as an expander, kind of like a filler. It's not a big deal. I already made the rice, it's right here. And then I also get ground beef from the store. So ground beef, obviously. I cut it up, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I got 12 pieces, so that's gonna be 12 meals. Really easy stuff. Now, the only other thing I use is cut leaf cooked spinach, okay? You can get this canned, it's really cheap. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take like a pinch of this for each one. And when it comes to vegetable, when it comes to like plant material, you don't want to go too much, right? This is just all serving as fiber, and you'll notice I'm putting less than like a teaspoon's amount in each one. I'm just gonna plop it in the middle, and again, this works as fiber. So when you're doing vegetables or plant matter with your dog, I get it. We all want our animals to have like the super diet. I want my dog to be healthy. My dog is the healthiest dog there is. Remember, they don't eat like us. They don't use plant matter the same way we would. So it's very small amounts. Think of it like this. The dog, evolutionarily speaking, their species, they will normally get plant matter in the form of maybe something that's in the stomach of the prey animal. So like that's the first thing I do. I chop up some ground beef. That ground beef was not expensive. I got it at Food 4 Less, I think. Chop it up. It's easier to chop it up frozen, but this is almost starting to get kind of less frozen. So boom, I add in the spinach. That was not, it's not a specific measurement, and we'll go over that at the end. But yeah, boom, just around a teaspoon's worth of spinach. And I'm gonna get my brown rice that I just made, and I'm gonna take the brown rice. I let it cool down. I don't want it to brown. I don't want to brown the beef with it. I'm not really trying to cook the beef. Remember, the dog is meant to eat raw food, not cooked food. All right, now I'll take one of these plates I've got here. I'll rinse it off real quick. I just use this plate. It's just fun doing this on my own with one hand. I just use this plate as like a thing to work on, so I don't have to work around the other stuff. Beep, beep, boop, beep, boop, boop. All right. So once we get the plate, it's pretty much a very simple process. I'm going to take one of these, okay? I'm going to put it on the plate. I'm going to get some brown rice. Again, I'm not being too specific. Now, the reason for that is there's no need to be specific with it. The dog, there are people who will tell you that your dog needs to eat a complete diet daily. Some people will believe that. Other people will go against it. I'm one of the people who will go against it. Your dog should eat a complete diet that's cumulative, not a daily diet. We don't eat a complete diet daily. It's weird to expect our dogs to do the same thing. Okay. Now you notice the calcium was in there next to some quick oats. If I didn't have spinach, I could use some oats. It's better to use plant material if you can. But so far, this is the meal. This is the meal we're looking at, okay? And I have some calcium here. And I'm adding in the calcium to substitute for the bone, okay? We need raw bone. This is obviously ground beef. If you're gonna use anything that doesn't have raw, uncooked bone in it, you need to add calcium. If you don't add calcium, then the dog will have runny poops because you'll have imbalance of calcium and phosphorus. This is what I use. Calcium citrate, nothing crazy. It's just calcium in powder form. You can order this stuff off of Amazon. All right, and then you're gonna take it over here. Last step, pretty easy. We're gonna take this and don't wanna mess this up. Get it right here, put it right there, boop. Well, I think I have a pair of scissors, but you get the idea. I'm gonna cover it. I'm gonna put it in the freezer. I'm gonna make a bunch like this, okay? All right, so let's do another one. We're gonna take this, gonna put it here. We're gonna get some rice. We're gonna put it, boom, like that. And actually, to be honest, I'll take the rice right out the gate and like put it on each one. This will allow me to, you know, make sure I don't waste any, make sure I don't put too much or too little. And it also just speeds up the process. Now, this can seem a bit involved, but once you have it, it's pretty easy. Once it's done, you know, and then you make your food for your dog once a week. And this is over a week's worth of food that we're doing right here. We can toss out the rest. We don't need the rest of that. So, boom, done. Unless you're like a brown rice fan, you can keep it, you know. All right, now we have this here. All we got to work with is the calcium. So we're running low on that. Let's get some more. All right, so we got another one. Good thing about this stuff is it's only $14 and it lasts forever. We're just gonna shake out what we can. I just take this like I did last time. I kind of mush it in. I want to make the patty wider. You'll see other like store-bought raw food that's not nearly as simple as this. It'll have a lot more unnecessary plant matter because they want to fill it out. But you want to make it wider for especially a younger dog. You want them to eat it slow. I don't want them to be able to gulp down a whole bunch of it. So no like storing it in a ball or anything. Like make it wider and flatter. It's better for the dog. Some calcium, and look at that. We're already done. Drop it on our saran wrap. Boom. All right. Doing the saran wrap with one hand is making me have anxiety. But okay, here we go. Okay, that's 2 right there. I'm gonna blast through the rest of them and then we'll go. All right, so that's 2 down, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 to go. Not a problem. All right, I'm gonna do all of these real quick and then we'll come back around and close it out. Okay, so we're done doing all the food. Now we just clean up. And we take it, and I'll just show you what I do with it. So I'll just take all the patties and I'll freeze them. They're all stored now, so these are freezing until you get here. I'll have you take these, but yeah, I just freeze them like that, and I serve them out 1 a day or 2 a day, depending on how much the dog is eating. So let's say you don't want to do all that. Let's say you don't want to deal with the ground beef, and you don't want to make the rice. You don't want to do any of that stuff. You just want to get your dog a simple and quality meal. You can also feed the dog chicken leg quarters that has a proper balance of raw bone to protein or meat. Or you can take a chicken back, which is what I was feeding Mile while he was here. Some days Mile would mouth the chicken back more. A big important thing you want to do when you're serving something with bone in to a young dog, especially a smaller dog, is you're going to want to chop it up. Okay, you can smash it with a hammer if it's a leg quarter. Sometimes that helps. Some people are better with that. I have really sharp knives, so we just chop it up. That's what this video is. I'm chopping up chicken back for Mile. So again, chicken backs or chicken leg quarters, you can chop those up. You won't have to add any calcium, and you'll be able to just serve it with the bone that's already in it, and it's a pretty decent ratio. So that's what this looks like, and that's the, I guess it's less ingredients, maybe less complicated, but in reality, chopping up chicken isn't, it's a messy thing. It's not everyone's favorite thing to do, but this is the chicken back. This is what it ends up looking like before you feed it to the dog. So we're just chopping up this chicken back. I took it, I smashed it down with the side of the knife. Now we're chopping it one way, turning it, chopping it the other. This will help break up all the bones so that Mile doesn't have to struggle biting through them, but he can still get the benefit of eating the bone, which we need. So there we go, plop it on and we're done. All right, so that's it. That's pretty basic. If you want to feed ground beef or chopped steak or pork, I highly suggest that you watch the first half of this video. Make sure you're adding calcium. Remember, add calcium that doesn't have D3, just pure calcium citrate, which I'll put in the description. You can add some fiber with cooked plant material, but remember, very small amounts. You're not giving your dog anything good by giving them a whole bunch of vegetables, fruits, or greens. And then the last part, right? You could also just go real simple. Bone in leg quarter, chicken leg quarter, or bone in chicken backs if you can find them. Chop them up for the smaller and younger dogs so that you can make sure they don't choke or cause any issues with large pieces of raw bone. You should be good to go. Remember, it's always going to be cheaper and higher quality to get your dog's food where you buy your food at the market than to get caught up buying any of these pre-made raw diets, okay? Make your dog's food, buy it the same place you buy yours. If you need to, check back on this video, and if you have any questions, put them in the comments.